Dora and Boots were about to read a story about a Kinkajou and a magic crown. As Boots eagerly anticipated the tale, he screamed, "Read me the fairy tale!" twice. Then a face appeared on the book asking, "What's a magic word?" Dora and Boots then both replied, "Please," and the book replied, "Y en español," in Spanish. Dora and Boots realized they needed to say the Spanish word for please, which was por favor. They tried saying it, and it worked. Once upon a time, a Kinkajou was appearing from his royal fairy tale castle. He was kind and brave, and everyone loved him, including the dragon. As fanfare played as the Kinkajou's 10th birthday arrived, everybody came to the castle to watch him put on the royal crown. The fiesta cheer brought the royal crown to the Kinkajou in a clear plastic container, but when the Kinkajou tried to put on the royal crown, it floated up in the air, out of his reach. Kinkajou tried to jump as high as he could to reach it, while also telling the royal crown to come down. He even tried shouting the Spanish word for down, which is abajo. Unfortunately, none of his attempts worked because it wasn't just an ordinary crown. It was a magic royal crown and will only come down if you have the Spanish word por favor. Kinkajou didn't know this and couldn't get his royal crown to come down. Kinkajou felt really sad, and everyone left in despair. Meanwhile, in another kingdom lived a naughty fox named Sir Swiper, who wanted to be king. So he set off towards Kinkajou's castle to try to swipe the royal crown and claim it for himself. Dora and Boots decided to help Kinkajou get his crown back by telling him the magic word was por favor. So they jumped into the fairy tale book. Well, they just had to find the quickest route to the Kinkajou's castle. They checked the map for help. It told them they had to go through the dragon's forest and over the drawbridge to get to Kinkajou's castle. It also mentioned that not only could they catch stars along the way, but they also needed to watch out for Sir Swiper. Dora and Boots get going and decided to practice using the magic words por favor. Suddenly, an owl calls out for help and uses the word por favor. Dora and Boots asked the owl what was wrong. The owl said he got himself stuck in a net. He tried pulling on the net, but it didn't work, so he needed something to cut the net. Dora checked his backpack for a cutting tool to cut the net. Backpack had a pair of scissors, which was a tool used for cutting. Dora gets it out with a snip, snip, snip. Owl was free at last, and thanks him and some words of advice to Dora and Boots. He says, "On your trip, there's a lot in store. Just remember to say por favor." Dora and Boots take Owl's advice, and they get going. They find a gate to the dragon's forest. Boots tries to pull open the gate, but it did not work. So Dora and Boots say, "Open, por favor," and it worked. Suddenly, they hear a trumpet sound. This means Sir Swiper is coming. Dora and Boots quickly run through the gate to get to the dragon's forest and have to close it. Dora and Boots say, "Close, por favor." The gate closes in front of Sir Swiper, and he snaps his finger and goes away. Now, Dora and Boots get going. After a long walk, Boots wonders why it's called the Dragon's Forest, because he does not see a dragon anywhere. Neither does Dora. I tell them that I see a dragon. The dragon roars so loud that it was hard for Dora and Boots to hear each other. They covered their ears and told the dragon, "Quiet, por favor." The dragon stops roaring and apologizes. She mentions that sometimes her roaring is too loud. The dragon then asks Dora and Boots what they were doing in her forest. They explained to her that they have to go through the forest to get to Kinkajou's castle. The dragon says she loves Kinkajou. She offers Dora and Boots a ride on her back. Dora and Boots hop on the dragon's back. Then she flaps her wings and starts flying up in the sky. Soon after, they hear stars. He even saw an explorer star named Slipperoonie. Dora and Boots catch the stars and put them into their star pocket. After that, the dragon takes Dora and Boots through the dragon's forest, and they slide down our tail back to the solid ground. Dora and Boots thank the dragon for the ride, and then they get going on the drawbridge. Once they got there, they almost go overboard and saw crocodiles in the mud. Dora and Boots have to go across the drawbridge. Boots tells drawbridge, "Down, please." The drawbridge says, "Como?" Dora and Boots tell the Dora tells Boots that the drawbridge speaks Spanish, so they not only had to say abajo, but they also have to use the magic words after that. Dora and Boots tell me to say abajo, por favor. I did so. Drawbridge tried to lower its floor, but the chain got stiff and rusty. Dora and Boots needed a way to loosen the chain. Luckily, Slipperoonie comes out of the star pocket. He adds soap and water to loosen the chain so they don't get stiff and rusty. Once the chains are loosened, the drawbridge can now lower its floor. Dora and Boots thanks Slipperoonie, and they immediately go across. Drawbridge raises its floor back up. Dora and Boots are getting close to Kinkajou's castle. They find it and got going again. Dora and Boots made it to Kinkajou's castle. Once there, they saw knights in shining armor blocking the castle door, but the blue, red, and purple knights were sleeping. Dora and Boots had to make the knights move out of the way by saying, "Wake up, por favor." Each knight saying, "Hola," and the knights say, "Hola," in unison. The knights move aside and open the castle door. Dora and Boots are going to see Kinkajou. The knights tell them, "His room is at the top of the stairs. Just look for the blue door." Dora and Boots listen carefully and enter Kinkajou's castle at once. Once there, they see the blue door, but no steps. Suddenly, there's a lion statue that says, "I'm the Lion of Whigamore. How many steps to the first floor?" Dora and Boots counted the invisible rectangles that led to the first floor. They counted up to 9. 9 steps, por favor, says Dora to the lion statue, and the lion statue made 9 steps appear. Dora and Boots climb up to the first floor. The lion statue says, I am the lion of Whigamore. How many steps to the second floor? Dora and Boots counted 7 invisible rectangles that led to the second floor. 7 steps, por favor, says Dora to the lion statue. The lion statue makes 7 steps appear. In no time, Dora and Boots reach a blue door on the second floor. Kinkajou stares at his own window all sad until Dora and Boots come and tell him they know the magic words to get his crown to come down. Kinkajou is glad that he's getting some help. However, Boots tells him they have to hurry because Sir Swiper is coming. Kinkajou listened to Boots, and he, Dora and Boots, exited the castle. The fanfare plays. The people and the dragon return and hope that Kinkajou will ever get his royal crown down. Time to crown the king! Hurry! Rapido! The knights yelled. Kinkajou has to get his royal crown to come down. Dora and Boots have to tell Kinkajou the magic words to get his crown to come down and for Kinkajou to be forevermore. Dora and Boots ask me if I know the magic words. I tell them the magic words are por favor. Kinkajou listens to Dora and realizes that he has to say more than abajo. He says, abajo, por favor, and sure enough, the royal crown came down and landed on Kinkajou's head. Everyone cheered for King Kinkajou. Suddenly, Sir Swiper to his trumpet and he is attempting to swipe the royal crown. The crowd gasps. Dora, Boots, Kinkajou, and the crowd all say, Swiper, no swiping, 3 times. Sir Swiper snaps his fingers and he runs far, far away, all the way back to his own kingdom. Kinkajou is now crowned king forevermore. And it was all because he taught the magic words, por favor. Everyone cheers while confetti falls from the sky and Dora and Boots give King Kinkajou a hug.